Hey y'all, so it is us, Black Coffee, Honey, and Grits. We are back in the building, minus one. We love you, Maisha.
Love you,
So,
girl.
we're gonna real quick do a brief introduction of each one of us and then who we are, and of course, get started. I got a little something to talk about. So I'll go ahead and start it off. I am Jamaica Anderson. I'm CEO and owner of Harmony and Power Institute, where I help women and children who lack confidence and clarity achieve harmony and power within themselves so that they can create the life they desire. Carmel, you want to go?
Sure. I'm messing with my mic here. I'm just trying to figure things out, making sure that I sound clear. I am your girl, Carmel Jean Francois, out of the New York City area, owner and founder of CFit Coaching, working with women over 40 on their health and wellness, fitness, and nutrition. And that's what I do. That's my jam, Dr. Jamesia.
Hey, y'all. I'm Dr. Jamesia, the nurse practitioner extraordinaire. I am also your intermittent fasting and mindset coach, YouTube influencer, author, speaker, all the things. And I'm one fifth of Black Coffee, Honey, and Grits. I'll pass it to you, Shelly. Hey, y'all.
And I am another of those fifths of Black Coffee, Honey, and Grits. I'm Shelly A. Carter out of New Jersey. I'm the founder of Housing Ministry LLC. And what I do is make home ownership attainable and sustainable. So that's it. That's me.
All right, y'all. So we are Black Coffee, Honey, and Grits. Uh, Listen, I'm so glad to have y'all here with us. I'm gonna throw it to the mic to Dr. J to do our
Okay.
whole introduction, and it's because I'm a little jealous. But go ahead, girl, so I can tell you why.
Let's give them something to talk about. Okay. So, hey, y'all. We are Black Coffee, Honey, and Grits. And why are we Black Coffee, Honey, and Grits? Ladies, we are the black coffee, our lips drip with honey. And sometimes we got a little bit of grit. We've got sass, class, and all that ass, y'all. And we are here to talk about hot coffee topics. We're just real women having real conversations. But listen, hot coffee topics, they're honest, they're open and transparent. Hot, y'all. Back to you, Jamaica.
Oh,
Taking a sip. Let her take a sip.
Listen, let me tell y'all something. Dr. J, first off, I love everybody's introductions. This wasn't what I wanted to come talk to y'all about initially, but since it happened and it kind of razzled my dazzle, I just got to go ahead and take it to y'all, right? So let me tell you, I always love when you're like, I am your intermittent fashion coach, your author, your speaker, all the things. And I'm always like, you know, I mean, I'm just dramatic. But the reason why I bring this up is because, I had this realization not too long ago that I am one of those people who I did not know how to talk about myself. I didn't know how to speak about myself because I've always been in a place where I had to minimize my accomplishments.
Yep.
And so it got to a point where I had nothing to say. Like when you go on a job interview and they're like, so tell us about yourself. And I'm like, you got the paper in front of you, what you want? You know, like and in all honesty, that's how I felt. I'm like, you just want me to repeat what's on the paper? But a lot of what I actually did, and how I was maybe influential or how I helped people, like I've been told when I was younger, you don't talk about those things, right? You don't brag about yourself. You're not, braggadocious. You're not supposed to do these things. You don't allow your left hand to know what your right hand is doing. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I don't know, like I sit here sometimes and I even think about it like, why not? You know?
You're
And,
like, Dr. J is just rattling all this stuff. She just keep going.
but I love it because it's like it shows that there's something confident about you, and because you're doing what you want to do. And I also, you know, I hear a lot of women who talk about themselves, and I told you guys on a other post that like I'm in this relationship class, right?
Mhm.
And my relationship teacher was kind of like, so who are you without those things?
Mhm.
And so for me, even when she asked that question, when it was like, who are you? Why are you important? Like, why should someone want to be in a relationship with you? And don't answer using your accomplishments or, you know, whatever else. For me, I'm just sitting here and I'm like, that's never where I started. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And even with it, like I'm talking to you guys about it, but even when I got my bachelor's degree, you know, it was like, okay, well, I went to school, I got a bachelor's. And then, of course, going to get a master's degree, it was almost like my parents were excited for me to go do these things. But then I also was reprimanded for it. It's like, well, you always feel like you know it all. But then, like, you come to me, those same people who feel as though I am that know-it-all, is like they're asking me for assistance. You know, like, what do you think about this? And when I say I don't know, or I, you know, that's not my cup of tea or whatever it may be, then they get angry. And it's one of those, like,
a double-edged sword.
You don't.
Yeah, and a double-edged sword. Like, you are so smart, but why are you so smart? Right?
Or no,
Like
if you're so smart, why don't you know?
Right. And then it's, oh, now you know everything because you're so smart. So, you know, damned if you do, damned if you don't. But for me, even without all those things, I still, without all the titles, without all of the credentials, accolades, whatever, I still can say who I am. You know, connector, peace, love, stability.
So my sister's a teacher, and she does this thing at the beginning of the school year so that she can learn the students' names. So she says, "Give me an adjective that describes you that starts with the same letter as your name." So Shelly would say sassy Shelly, right? Like Jamesia would say jazzy Jamesia, or things like that, right?
Yeah.
And that way she gets to know a little bit about their character, about them, and she learns their name at the same time with that alliteration. But what I thought was beautiful about that practice is it helped the students identify by one adjective what makes them, like, a part of their character, and what makes them them. So if they would say jazzy Jamesia and they know they're not jazzy, they're not going to choose that word. They'll find a word that really suits them. Otherwise, they're lying as they say their name. And children are not really, that's not our first instinct is not to lie. We want to be truthful until we feel like our safety is being threatened. And so to what you were saying, Jamika, I feel like if we thought more about introducing ourselves as who we are in terms of our character, that would make it a lot less challenging for us later in life to really identify who we are as opposed to what we do, and all the letters that follow our name, or the accolades that follow our name. So that's when you said that, that's what was activated in my mind to share. So
that's actually a really nice practice. I never experienced anything like that in my childhood or being in the school system. So you did?
Yeah.
Oh, that is something where I'm going to be jealous again then, because we never got that. We got a number of things, but that opportunity never came my way.
And guess what my adjective was?
What?
No, I refuse. Gone.
Jazzy.
It wasn't. I was gonna say jazzy.
Okay.
I love it. Woo! See, I know you got this. And you know what? When I worked on
sassy, and I was thinking sweet, but I'll take sassy. So thank you.
Oh, girl, you are sassy. When I worked at a personal training studio, and we worked in a studio where there were different rooms set up. So me and my client would work in this one little room for about 45 minutes to an hour together. We weren't in a big gym. We were just in this room. It was just him and myself, and we had a chalkboard, a dry erase board. And before they came in, if his name was Tom, I write Tenacious Tom. Okay. And when they walked in and they saw their name along with this adjective, it pleased them so much. And it was so interesting to see these grown adults, men and women included, come into the room and see their name along with this adjective. And they were like, oh, they were so appreciative, and it changed their moods, especially coming in at the end of the workday, coming into exercise, and they know I'm gonna put a hurting on them, and they're like, oh.
I'm
So
stealing this idea, you guys. I got meetings coming up in the next month where I'm gonna have to book clients for appointments. So stealing that.
It's definitely an icebreaker.
Oh,
yeah,
Yeah.
for
When I
sure.
when I come in to meet with you, there's gonna be an agenda. So I'm gonna take Carmel's idea and the fact that it's an icebreaker. And when I hand them their agenda, Tenacious Tom right at the top. Then and what are we gonna do today? I'm here for it. Thank you so much.
So, Carmel, what's your adjective?
Oh my goodness, what is my adjective? It needs
Jamaica, what's yours?
I used to do jazzy or jamming. Jamming.
See, yeah, jazzy. Jazzy works for you too. I think it works better than jamming.
But can someone tell me what Carmel was looking for?
I don't know, but I hope she found
letting
it.
it come out the atmosphere. She was trying to look.
What you looking
Let
for?
the ethers come from the ethers.
yes, Ethers. Where are you? What is my adjective? Oh, girl, what a good question.
Charismatic,
You're gonna have to give me a minute.
caring.
You mean you did it and didn't do it on yourself?
I know I had to have.
And she popped y'all's out so fast. But that's a part of it, right? It's because sometimes we can see the greatness in other people,
Right?
And it's definitely more difficult for us to see it in ourselves, especially if that's not something that you've been trained to do.
Right.
So I mean,
I got him. Classy, collective.
Caring.
Caring. That was
classy.
Classy.
Carmel.
There we go.
What do you think, Jamaica?
yes.
Classy. Yes.
And
Look at her whole thing,
the white dress. I'm done forever after seeing her in the teacup dress.
Yes. That was
my
everything. I loved it.
Thank you. I saw that little dress and I said, ooh, a woman and a girl. That's what I felt like in that.
All at once. Woo. Yes. And that white too. Yes, honey.
Thank you.
Give it to them, then, girl.
And it is something about our skin and white. It just pops off. I'm just saying. The top was popping.
Thank you. I felt so cute.
But don't it? Huh?
No.
So you brought this topic up. What do you think is the next step? So we're dealing with this person where you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. And I live in a world where I tell people all the time, I don't know is an acceptable answer. Like, I don't know why you think I'm supposed to know everything. So what is your advice to handle that?
I'm walking through it, honey. I'm learning. And one of my things now lately is just to show up, just to be. Mm-hmm. Like I tell y'all that every time we talk, I'm like, my word for this year is to be.
Mm-hmm.
And within my existence, I'm learning there's nothing that I have to do to be enough. You get what I'm saying? Yes. And it's just about learning that two things, right? Learning that no matter what it is, my existence means that I am enough, period.
Mm-hmm.
And then also, like, I think about when people say, they y'all know I like the Bible because, that's what we've been raised on. I'm raised on.
Mm-hmm. We super saved in here.
We super saved from time to time. But when they say calling a thing that's not as though it were, you know what I'm saying? And to understand, like, even myself as a teacher, I talk to my kids as though they're adults. And I tell them, you guys are miniature adults. You have respect for me, I'm going to have respect for you. And within that, they show up as such, right? Within that, I allow them to understand there's a time and a place where things have to be, where you're going to have the opportunity to express yourself. And there's a time and a place where I have a job to do, and we just got to let it run its course, right? And your feelings, however valid they are, I'm going to give you a moment and an opportunity to express those things because I don't want you to feel like you don't have a voice. But also, we have to know that our main objective is to do X, Y, and Z. You get what I'm saying? And so within that, like, you hear these children who talk about they don't feel as though they're enough. They don't feel as though they're smart enough. They don't feel as though they're pretty enough. They don't feel it's all of these things. And I love it because, like, by the end of the year, sometimes before, but by the end of the year, they understand that I'm not being harsh just to be harsh. You get what I'm saying? But as an adult, there are things that you just have to do in order to survive. But you also, you understand that you are of value, even though it doesn't seem like it in those moments where somebody is speaking to you harshly, or someone is, seemingly being demeaning, or whatever it is. um I don't know. That's the gist of it, right? And it's funny because, like, my kids will come to me and they will have those conversations where they real deal talk about it, like, well, I'm not as smart as this person, so blah blah blah. And I'm telling them, like, no, you're smart, period. You are smart, but you don't believe in yourself, and that's gonna be something different. You get what I'm saying? Or I'm not as pretty as this person. No, you are pretty, period.
Period.
However, you have to know it, and you have to show it, and you have to be just that. And when you do, you carry yourself differently. When you
And
come, go ahead. Sorry.
no, I think I'm going to throw this off a little bit, but as you're talking, I'm reminiscing on a teacher of mine, and I feel like they are going to miss out so much not having you as a teacher, because those conversations are priceless. I'm telling you, if it were not for Mrs. Wright in the 5th grade, I don't know that I would be the woman that I am today. And I know that I attribute a lot of who I am to my mom and to my parents. Yes, but there's something about a teacher that can sow into you, like what you're saying that you've done for your kids. It's just, I know that they're going to miss you.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
No, that's not anything to sorry about, because it's true.
No, because I mean, because
that.
yeah, and to just know that, hey, if I would have known early on that, yes, that person over there is pretty, but I'm pretty too. Like, yes, she has beautiful skin. Yes, it's a different hue, but my skin is
Your skin is beautiful too. Right.
And when you have a teacher that you look up to, that can say things like that to you, that can give you that tool to help you build and build and build on the confidence, on the woman that you're gonna be, that's priceless. So
I think so. The teacher who invested in you to build on the woman that you are,
Mrs. Wright,
right?
Annette,
and the other people who got there. Mrs. Wright was right.
she
So
was.
that's a name that's going to be easy to remember. I'm hopefully we all had one or two of
She
those.
was tall. Oh, she was tall because I was tall. Like, I was tall. I'm same size since 5th grade, y'all. She was tall. I was tall. Like, they thought I was a police officer. So anyway, she is tall. She was light skinned. She was like a red bone, but she would just take my face and she'd be like, listen, you are so beautiful and you are so smart and you're going to do this today and you're going to help me with that today. And I'm like, okay.
Oh, that's so special. That's so
It really
special.
Yes. And she was
didn't have
special
any of that.
because when I was coming up, Black teachers, not heard of. Not heard of.
I had one Black teacher. She was the gym teacher.
Yep. And I had one Black
That was
teacher,
in high
Mrs.
school.
Wright. She was my history and math teacher.
No, I didn't have that until I was in college. My
See what I'm saying?
my English teacher was like that, but my accounting teacher was Black, and she was the head of the department, and I didn't like accounting. And she said, "Oh, hell no, you will not fail my program." And her and my father converged. And let's just say every Saturday until I passed that class, I was at her house. And at the time, it felt like torture. But I know that that was an investment that not everybody got. And that was a really a good blessing. And of course, you grow up and you're like, damn it, I needed that class. Because when you're young, you're like, I don't think I need this. But it was so important to have someone, your elder, pour into you. But I want to reel us into where we are now.
Yeah.
We're dealing with people in our spaces every day. We're dealing with the people who are watching this video. We are dealing with our clients and all of these different avenues. And when I tell you personal perspective, I can sit and have a conversation with someone for an hour. In that hour, they will tell me, I went to this school, I went on this vacation. This is the first accomplishment I had. This is the third one. This was my greatest baby, and this part of them, and they light up. And then I'll say, so great, I need your bio. And their face, it just drops. And I can see the heart sinking and imagine their heartbeat has sped up as they're imagining, you want me to do what? You want me to take everything that I just said for an hour and pick 5 sentences and put on a piece of paper or in an email and send it to you? It doesn't happen. I now have learned that I have to trick people into giving me their bio. I just sit and talk, and I type while they're talking and take notes. And when we're done, I'll give it back. Okay, so you did this, this, and this. And then I have to construct a bio a lot of times and give it to them. And they read the bio as if I've told them a story they've never heard before.
Well, why you didn't do that for me, Shelly?
You know what? Leave me alone. You're going to leave me alone because you don't need it. And it is very, very frustrating and shocking. And sometimes what holds us up is literally just me saying, so tell me about yourself so I can build a world around you. And they cannot do it.
It's a skill. It's a skill, and it takes practice speaking about yourself. I had the same experience.
I reject that it is a skill. The writing is a skill,
Right.
but knowing what is great about you, that's mindset.
Yes.
That you can't let it out. But
bars. Drop those bars, Shelly.
That I do agree with. Yes. But then the person that was telling you all about their lives, and then all of a sudden, what you want me to summarize all that in 5 sentences about myself? That part is a skill. But I agree with you 100%. I was dealing with somebody like that, working on her bio, and she was like, "What do you mean write about myself? Isn't somebody else supposed to do that?" Every time I see it, it says she does this and she does that. I'm like, yeah, they're writing their own stuff, right? We just write it in third person. But you know what you've accomplished, and you know what you want to highlight to people, to whoever's looking at your bio. But yeah, that is a mindset. 100%.
I want to
fix my mindset, man. Look, I got a little bit more work to do because I still be sitting there like, I don't know. That's really, I just be like, oh.
So for me, I want to write down everything, and there's not enough room for it. I want to write down everything, and it's like, no, Carmel, just like.
But sometimes I think once a year, once a quarter, you should just pull that journal out, and that section for that quarter should be what is fantastic about you, and just write it all out. And then look at last quarters or next quarter, look at what you wrote this quarter. Because when Maisha's talking about Death to the Good Girl, all of this programming, of which I am full of programming, like I said, church up the wazoo, 3.5 different religions, ish, because I'm including Islam because the family was in there. My uncle went to jail with one name, came out of jail, the next thing I know, the whole damn family is Muslim. And I'm like, okay, fine. We got them roots now. So Catholic, Baptist, something syllables, and then the Muslim, and you can't do this and you can't do that, and stand up straight and speak when spoken to, speak with a purpose. Ladies don't speak without a purpose. And now all of a sudden I'm a grown up and everybody's trying to hand you a microphone or something to say, okay, now go talk. These people just spent X decades telling me not to talk. What do I talk about? That, and we have plenty to talk about. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that.
Yeah. So what I do with my bio, every time I do something additional, like if I do a talk, if I do a book, if I do a chapter, if I do something extra,
Yeah.
I just add it to it like immediately. I don't let it fester because I've looked at stuff from years and it's like, oh, I forgot that. I forgot about that. I forgot I did that. That was good. So
Right.
I've learned to just add as I go.
I have different bios for different things though.
I
If
do
it's
too.
something fitness,
Yeah.
you know, yeah. Or if it's something with pertains to speaking, there's a different bio with different accomplishments.
Different bio, different resume. Yeah.
Right. So I'm always kind of like, which one am I getting today? Or there's the one that allows 500 words, and there's the one that only wants 100 words, right? And so it's
And
like,
then there's
okay,
some that want 2,000.
I haven't come across that one yet. But yeah.
Girl, you know how I got my bio? The lady that worked with me, I was like, listen, I need help. Her name is Davis. And I say, Miss Davis, I need help. I need to write a bio. And I was like, this all I got. I put like 5 things on the paper and she typed that bad boy up. She was like, here, honey. I was like, girl, how you know?
She did a full chat GPT on you.
Right? But you know what? Carmel said it. People see in you what you either don't see or won't say
Mm-hmm.
about
Because you
yourself.
feel it's braggadocious.
Right.
Well, why
you just
can't
don't
we
get-
brag
you
on
can't put
about
the words
ourselves?
on it, or you might not be able to put the words on it. But
So-
I remember when I first started working at the VA, Miss
Okay.
Smiley. Well, Miss Smiley told me, and this was 19
I
years
love
ago.
these names, Mrs. Wright, Miss Smiley.
Miss Smiley, Nettie Smiley, just a beautiful, just beautiful black woman. She told me, she said, listen, every year you're going to give yourself a raise. I said, oh, yeah. She said, yeah. And this is how you're going to do it. She said, you're going to be braggadocious about Jamesia, but you're not going to be too braggadocious so you don't step on no toes, but you're going to make sure you braggadocious so we can get this money. I said, oh, Nettie. Okay. And
All
guess
right,
who?
Miss Nettie.
And guess who? Every year got a raise.
Yes, yes.
So
Yes, yes. So you know one of the things
I
that
love
they
that.
flex? One of my strange flexes is I've never had a job where I've been in the job I was hired for. And that 90 days later, like clockwork, I got a new job. And that's Miss Nettie. Just making sure just enough.
mhm.
No, I can't call her Miss Nettie. Miss Smiley. I love that name. The Miss Smiley said you give them just enough.
Just enough, not too much. Don't want to step on no toes now,
Because
baby.
you also don't want to piss off your coworkers by outshining them. 'Cause
Don't outshine the master.
them sisters
You know-
get a little testy.
But I've heard that. I've always heard that. I've always, tried to live by that. But I could sit up here, no lie, I promise you guys. And I've even told y'all this before. I've never seen myself at 100%. I have never seen that. I don't even know what that would look like, what it would feel like. Like I've never, and it's
So
because
why are you doing that to yourself? Like, what's happening?
because I've always had at whatever I was performing at, I've always had people hate on me just because.
Girl, get over that. They gonna hate.
They
Hate on
haters
later.
gonna hate.
Now or later.
And
They don't make any sense. They are your friends. They are your family. They are your man.
and
They
they're your
are your
foes.
mama. Them people that are not supposed to hate turn out to be the ones that are gonna hate. So the birthday advice is leave those people where they left you.
Jill Scott them folks, please.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I can only tell you with all of my years on top of yours, don't waste time on people who are not wasting their time on you.
Well, on that note, look, that's a message to be had, and we're gonna let that sit. So
Yeah, because
Look,
we're
let's
30
go.
minutes in. We 30 minutes in. We might want to.
let's go and wrap it on up.
All right.
But isn't this coffee cup nice?
Isn't it gorgeous? I got one too.
I got the red inside. Hold on.
Yeah, I got one too.
I had my purple one earlier.
Oh, we all got our cups today.
It's the
Hey,
blue one.
you guys, stay tuned for the merch for Black Coffee, Honey and Grits. These are beautiful.
They are, and they're nice
Stay
and
tuned for
heavy. They got a good weight. The
They've got
logo
a good
feels
weight.
nice on them.
Those
I didn't know there was a purple one, Jamaica.
That's a nice one. You got both of yours today, Jamaica. You got your
This my water
BCH.
cup. This my
Oh.
water cup. I gotta make sure I get my water in too now. Can't
Nice.
just be drinking coffee and whatever else foolishness.
But I just
Exactly.
want to suggest that people just observe how nice they are. They feel good in your hands. The
Mhm.
logo
Yeah,
is
I
nice.
do love these.
So come
I
get
love
you a feel of BCHG.
My
Come
purple
feel-
one I
come
had
feel
my
us.
tea in earlier. Look.
Yeah.
Gotta pick it up.
Well, wrap it on up, girly.
Well, we're gonna be out then, y'all, because she ain't gonna let me be great. Let's go right. We got things to do.
Yeah,
But
but it's
I don't
nice
know.
chat.
Look, I'm Jamaica. And that's it. We ain't even
She's a
we ain't
coach,
even do all that. So bye. Bye, y'all. Look. I'm
Well,
Jamaica. Yeah.
see y'all. Thanks for
Bye.
tuning in to Black Coffee, Honey and Grits. Bye.
Yes. Thanks for being here.